It was a busy year at Queen's Park, and the NDP says the party is ready to go toe-to-toe with the Ford government amid the prospect of an early election. Now, Ontario NDP leader Marit Stiles joins me now as we reflect and look ahead to 2025. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's great to be here. It's beautiful, very holiday.
Well, your party has done very well in the past two elections. The NDP have formed official opposition twice in a row, set fundraising records, but as we're looking ahead to this potential early election call next spring, recent polling has showed the NDP return to its traditional third place position. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think in the polls often show us somewhere around second, third place often. And I figure like polls for me don't mean anything until election's actually underway, right? When people are really focused on what's happening and what's at stake. And I think going into the next election, people are going to be looking for hope. They're going to be looking for hope that things can actually change because it's been pretty rough for many people in Ontario over the last 6 years. They're going to be looking for a change, I think. And so I think with that in mind, we've got a really great opportunity to turn things around and to replace this government with a government that works just as hard as Ontarians do.
I know you've mentioned you try not to pay attention to the polls. I take your point, but do want to bring up just the latest Abacus data poll, which shows that the Ford government is enjoying more than 40% support. So how do you reconcile the fact that Doug Ford remains very popular and among Ontarians the preferred candidate to lead the province?
Well, first of all, his own personal popularity is a whole other matter. And if you look, I think, at some of the research, it's very, very low. He's got the lowest popularity of any premier in the country. But I think, again, most people right now that I talk to as I'm traveling around the province are really focused on just getting by. They're not thinking about elections. They're not thinking about, what's happening here at Queen's Park for the most part. And you know what? They shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to worry about a government that's stuck in scandals and distractions. They should have a government that's working on the issues that are really going to make a difference in their lives. And that's what I'm focused on, bringing some hope and some change and focusing on making life a lot better for people, because you shouldn't have to be worrying about, what's happening at Queen's Park. You should just know that your government has your back.
Your chief rivals for the progressive vote in this province, the Liberals, they saw their support increase in the recent Bay of Quinte by-election. Couple that with the fact that you're losing some incumbents. 3 of your MPPs want to make the leap into federal politics. 2 have been ejected from your caucus. So how do you stave off a possible Liberal resurgence with, also trying to gain more seats and take more seats from Doug Ford's Conservatives?
Yeah, I mean, for us, obviously, for us, every seat matters. And we're not, unlike the Liberals who are, I think, trying to get themselves back to sort of having official party status, we are very focused on where we need to win and where we need to defeat Conservatives to win the next election. So we're going to hold on to our incumbent seats, but we are also very focused on those seats in places across the province where I think people are looking for change. We're looking for better. And again, what I see over and over again as I'm traveling around the province is people who are finding life just unaffordable, can't find the housing they need, struggling with mental health crises in their communities. Life in Ontario today is so much harder than it was 6 years ago. And I think that is what people are going to be asking themselves when we come to the election is, who can make this better for me? Is my life any better than it was 6 years ago? And most people are going to say, no, it's worse. What do we need? What we really need are solutions. And I think that my focus 100% isn't on whether I defeat Liberals. It's on defeating Conservatives and replacing them with a government that actually cares about people.
I mean, the math is not totally in your favor, though. 43 some elections, the NDP have only won 1. In 2022, the NDP lost 9 seats. And again, you're heading into a possible early election without 5 incumbents. I imagine it's still an uphill climb.
You know what? I feel like for us, it's always, I always look at us as we're the underdog, right? Nobody expects us to do as well as we do. And we keep coming because we know that what we do is fight for real people. And I think there's never been a bigger disconnect over the last, say, 20 years between what the people of Ontario experience and what their government is offering. So for me, the team that I have right now of MPPs from every corner of the province, they're working really, really hard, and they work in a very different way. And I think people are ready for that kind of change again. I think they're ready for a government that's going to do something new. Like, for example, our plan to deliver the most ambitious housing program in the province's history. Housing starts in Ontario are down to like 1950s levels. We can't continue this way. So, and I'm fine with being the underdog. I've been used to that my whole life. We can do better here for the people of Ontario, and I am so focused on bringing that hope and that change, and I know we can do it.
NDP Leader Marit Stiles, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate